I think I'm going to mass make some journals. We'll see. I've got a bunch of recycled things here, and I'm going to just add some mixed media to them and see where we go from there. Hello, welcome to my channel. It's Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. And I am a little close in, aren't I? Alright, let's get messy. I think I'm mostly just going to I'm going to start with my brayer and just start putting layers on. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to have a hard time with that. Alright, let's see. I could use my gel plate, but I might at some point. Right now I'm just going to use it as a palette. Just put paint on. Yes, it's got paint on there. I see that. It's all good in the neighborhood. But I just want to get some colors on here. And these ones especially, I think I'm going to do both sides. And the other ones I may just do mixed media on one side and do fabric on the other. On the thinner ones, just so that I can get some, you know, more thickness to them. Because some of these are the recycled, the white stuff in the middle, and some are just paper bags. So there's a variety. Let's see. And if colors mix, that's okay, because I tend to stay fairly close to one side or the other of the color wheel, I suppose. And I'm going to have some fun background papers down there at the bottom, aren't I? And you can see, you know, the bumps. Oh, and I'm already getting paint everywhere. That's alright. That's okay. What I mean is I've got some of these that are just this. So I think I'm going to just paint on the inside of these. I don't know where. Let's just do some Prussian blue then, since I'm not sure where my gesso is. Gesso can be in another layer. It's all good. So I'm going to make a bunch of covers. I'll show you the basics of how I'm doing it. You know, like just kind of doing some brayering on these. And this one, these thinner ones, I'm going to do like, oh, I saw somebody use scrap fabrics as the innards. And I'm like, oh, I should try that. It's a rag journal, I think she called it. Oh, and I wish I could remember who she was. Someone in my whatchamacallit, in my whatchamacallit, that's helpful. Someone that I get notified of in daily, or they might be in one of the Facebook groups too, is a possibility. Oh, that's interesting. Got a little bit of white on there got picked up here, which is fine. It's fine, everything's fine. And then I've got these are like, it was a bigger paper bag, so I just cut out these middle parts, and I'm going to make these pockets on either side of a journal. So I think these are going to become like the back and front covers, and these will be pockets. So that will stiffen that up some, and so yeah, I only need to do this outside part, I guess, is what I'm trying to say and think and whatchamacallit and do. And I'm just kind of grabbing whatever colors are here on my desk, because people like different colors. So I know Barbara usually takes the handles off and then puts them back on later. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Barbara being Barbara of 49 Dragonflies, but really, who knows what I'm gonna do. So right now, I'm just gonna add layers. I'll be right back. Okay, they all have one coat now, so I flipped the pile over, so the driest ones are now on the top. And where I have lighter colors, I'm going to probably add some darker colors, or, you know, or something, just to get some good contrast here and there, I guess. And get some layers. And the more I smush this, the more I can get in between the bumps. And I could even come in with a brush instead of a brayer. It's just the brayer is faster. I like fast. That's part of my problem. So maybe the next layer or the next one I'll try some brush. So this is a darker color. So I'm going to come in with a lighter color. Still staying on the same side of the color wheel, although that is not entirely necessary. Because once it starts to dry, you're perfectly fine to do whatever you want. I'm looking for a big, wide brush, but I'm not finding one, so we'll just use this smaller one. And then I'm not worrying about, you know, getting it all over. It's kind of an olive green, which, you know, kind of like olive with the teal blue. I like blues and greens. I don't know. You might have been able to figure that out. Oh, yeah, we don't need my name showing. And the fronts and backs will coordinate because, you know, just use the same colors on both sides. And use as many colors or as little colors as you want. If you want it to look a little more stylized, you might want to stick with just a couple, 3 colors and some neutrals. Is generally looks good, but sometimes you want to do more because then you have more options on the inside too. Okay, there we go. Got more of that brown covered up. I mean, it's okay if some of the brown shows. That's not that big a deal. And there's a good chance, if I can remember the colors that are on the bottom, that I'll come back and do those bottom layers on the top again. So this one is a very dark color. It's gonna look more yellow probably next to the, I think it's Prussian blue is what I've got on here. Let's see, or I could even, if I want to do more of a pattern, find one of my plastic bags. No, I don't want that one. Let's try, let's go, I don't want to do red because that will look a little too patriotic. Not that there's anything wrong with being patriotic or making a patriotic journal. It's just not what I'm going for at the moment. It's just not where I'm headed right now. Okay. I don't know if you can see all these cords hanging down, but I did not fix that right now today, and I'm okay with that. So, you know, adding some textures is fun. I try to turn the bag. And let's see, this is, nope, that's the one journal that will be by itself with the fabric on the other side, huh? Guess we'll have two that'll be somewhat similar. I'll change them up at some point. And similar does not mean they'll look the same. I mean, you can see this one already has less blue on it to begin with. And we're getting some of the darker colors loosening up from the bottom too, which is good because that just gives us a darker turquoise to play with there too. And then I even just go ahead and a little bit of brown. And then I just take the bag and I put it right side out again so I can lay it down without getting paint everywhere. Oh my goodness. Somebody yelled at me. Somebody's not happy. Alright, and the purple. Purple's hard. I don't love purple. I think it's part of my... let's just put some Prussian blue on there with the teal and the aqua and see what we get. Do want to kind of get the handles a little bit, not necessarily line them up or anything, but you know, just get the brown bag covered. Not to cover the brown bag totally. It's okay if we can see that there is some brown bag in here. I'm okay with that. Whoa, that was more on there than I realized. Alright, still got some purple showing through. And this is the front and back of this one, so I do want it to coordinate some. Does not have to be exactly the same, but you know, a little coordination might be nice. And what am I going to do after this? Another layer of paint, probably. And then I'll start doing some stenciling and stamping. Let's see. Where's, oh, here. Oh, it's going to end up being pretty dark. So I got magenta here, which is going to mix with the blue and make, I don't know, some kind of a blurple, probably. But I'll start by just kind of pushing really hard just to kind of get in between some of the, like I said, it's okay if the brown, I mean, it's okay, because brown bag, we're letting people know, hey, we recycled this. It really is okay for it to show through some. I just didn't want it to show through a ton, you know what I mean? But the wetter this gets, the easier it seems to cover up. And then maybe this backdrop paper will end up being in one of these journals. Oh, I didn't do anything. Oh my goodness. Alright, so the ones that are really dark, I'm probably going to bring in some white in the next layer, or cream or something. Alright, this one has some bright yellow on it, and now it's going to have some magenta and Prussian blue and that mix. And might even just go ahead and get that off the gel plate as much as possible. Ooh, that's interesting. So that's like good and messy. We've got some that looks kind of red. I don't think I've used red today, so something mixed to do that. The magenta and something. Alright, so there's that one, has another layer, and then this one is a pale light yellow. I think I'm going to have to take this paper off. I got another layer underneath, don't worry. Like you were worried. I'm sure you weren't worried. I do love some good drop paper, and I think that this one is looking pretty good. So let's just go ahead and pull that off. It's taped on there pretty well. And not worried about the edges. I can, you know, if it's going to be grungy anyway, the edges can be like that or whatever. Alright, so this is like a light yellow, and it's got a little bit of blue on there too. What do I want to do? You know, I might even just do a little bit of metallic, do a little layer of that in the middle there. And it can peek through some of the other layers. And then I'm going to take my pile again and flip it over, so this one's that's been sitting there the longest, and hopefully it's cool to the touch, so it's not perfectly dry, but you know, it's not bad. A little metallic on that one maybe. I don't even have to do the whole thing. I could do kind of a little patchwork. Just do a little square there, a little square there, a little square there. That doesn't even have to be all over. Now we're putting the ones over here. Okay. We want to do that with this too. So I think I'm going to go through and do this on all of them. Be right back. See, now that this is damp, I was able to peel the label off. So now it won't be as obvious on there. And I'm just going to fill that piece in with, I don't know, some apparently dirty bronze. It's absorbing a lot right there. Alright, So this one didn't get blocks. This one got more all over happening. Except on that side it got blocks. So that's alright. So now I'm going through and doing like a light layer just to hopefully brighten things up a little bit maybe. And I'm just kind of taking my brayer with some of this cream paint and just lightly brayering over it. And after this I may do some stenciling and stamping and then something else. I'm not sure what. And of course this is just hitting the tops, and then I'm kind of coming back over with this just so I can flatten that paint out a little bit, because it's just, I don't know, I didn't want the dendritic, not that there's anything wrong with it, and there's still going to be some, but I gotta decide if I want to keep this piece or take it off. I don't know. I guess I'll just glue it down. Well, that was unexpected. Took off the cover and the whole cover came off. Like the metal tip and everything. Guess I'll just kind of show all these so that you can see where we're at. I might even, on these, just kind of, I don't know, maybe I'll just do what I did, but it's different because there's not all the lumpy bumpies in this. And the next one is the dark purple, and let's see, do I want to use the cream again? That's the question. Maybe. Or, I don't know. I know, some of you are yelling, no, you're going to mess it up. Well, there's just layers and layers, and by the end, I'll know it's done if I like it. If I don't like it, then I'll know it's not done. Squeaky, squeaky brayer today. And I'm going to drag it a little bit too, I think. So there's that. And do like I just did and just kind of drag it. You won't know that it's going to do anything because it dries pretty quick because it's such a thin layer. And then this one, I think I will just kind of touch it, get it on the plate a little bit, which should get some of the cream and the metallic and just be a different, and some of the green too. I like that some of the green is coming up. Then on these last two, that one could use a little bit. This one is already pretty light, so I don't know that I really want to add light to it, or if I want to add dark to that one. Or both. I mean, nothing wrong with both. Let's just go ahead and do that, and just kind of lightly tapping it, lightly pressing it, and getting some interesting stuff on here and some interesting stuff on the plate. It's almost working like a texture kind of a deal. So I think now on this here, I'm going to, where's my water? It's right here. I'm just going to dribble some water and let that sit for a minute, and then I'll pick up the water with a piece of paper and pick this up a little bit later. If you have one of these Tim Holtz sprayers, if you want bigger droplets, you just barely touch the nozzle and you get bigger droplets. Did you know that? Well, you do now. I do not have a lot in the way of magenta pink ones, so I guess I will at least do one. Just want to add some to it. Just kind of pressing it into the paper over here, you know, as long as it's a little bit wet. And that is how I can get super random, even though it looks like weird dots. We'll make it work. We're gonna make that work. We're gonna make it all work. Okay. So now I gotta decide what I want to do on the next layer. And I think I want to bring in some script. So I'm gonna use my Imperfectly Perfect one of these with some black, I think, because I might do some more layers. Some black ink. Ink is what I'm looking for. Oh, I also have the teal and all those colors. I have lots of colors. I've started collecting, apparently, the VersaFine Flare. So if you want to add ink that doesn't move, you want to add permanent ink. This will take a little bit to dry because, let's see, I'm going to say that this is the front. It'll take a little bit to dry. I'm going to go both directions here. I'm not going all over, just like that. Because it's not going on a porous surface, and VersaFine needs a porous surface if it's going to dry kind of quickly. And this is not a porous surface. Okay, so this is just a different one. Might even go a little bit upside down. Just going all different directions, and it's just giving some interest in the background. Let's see what it looks like if we do the teal. I mean, there's still some black on here, which is going to get some black on my teal ink, and it's going to make it a much darker version of this. And I'm just going all the directions. Then I don't have to worry about, you know, which direction I'm going with my, and I'm overlapping, and you can totally do that. Love this stamp. This is one of Floral Davies stamps from Cam Artist Studio. We got the magenta, and we have some of the, let's do the teal again. No, let's do black. It might just have enough teal in it too to make it not like black. Whoops. Or maybe it will be black, but that's okay too. And let's see, on the inside I might do something different. Like what? Numbers? We'll do some numbers. These are Carrie the Griffiths, Carrie the Crafter. And what's nice is these stamps hold quite a bit of ink, so you're able to get quite a few layers happening. Go both directions on this too. There we go. We got some ghosty layers, and I'm probably going to cover, you know, add more paint, so it's okay. Let's see, I think I just did, what color did I do on the other one? Yep, just the black. Black, yep. And then I will bring in some stencils and some more stamps, because I can, because that's where all the good stuff comes from, the layering. Alright, this is kind of a bright green, is what it ended up being, even though I think I started with, so I'm using the Shady Lane, just adding more green, basically. And then, you know, if somebody likes green, they might be like, yep, that's the one for me, totally covered in green. On the inside, we'll do green again. this time, where's, ooh, leaf, do leaf. This time we'll do the leaf. Does it go with the other greens? I don't know. Not really. I mean, it's more, it's not the same tone, but you know what? If you look in the woods, there's all different greens and they don't match. So I'm getting over my trying to match up my greens. I'm just not doing it anymore. And maybe I want to also layer up some teal leaves too, because repeat some of the colors that are in there. And just make this a total random. I mean, we started with leaves. Will we be able to tell it's leaves when we're done? Maybe not. Do we care? No, it's all about interest. It's not about trying to recognize what it is in the end. We'll do numbers. And we'll just be random with it. That works. And we have the other side. This has some letters, so I might try to keep this way. We'll see. I don't know, because yeah, those go all different directions. So it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I do want big bold stamps though, because of all this of all the texture on this stuff. I'm wanting to do big bold stamps so that they do come out all right. Let's do the big rosette. This one I maybe would have, if I had thought about it, done it in more of a teal than a black, but that's all right, because it, don't get attached to any of these backgrounds. It could totally end up getting covered up, so don't get attached. This is the Chianti. It works beautifully with this yellowy burgundy background I've got going on here with some Prussian blue, dark, moody colors. So let's see, this has more teal on the back and some more red, but I still, let's see, no, we'll do the black. No, we'll do the twilight. When the twilight is gone, and the birds stop their singing. That's totally off key. I'm sorry. That was terrible. There we go. Overlapping. Getting this fun stuff. And then this one is like a purpley, because I had the magenta and the blue. So maybe just a little drama with the, what did I just use on that? The teal or the blue or whatever. So that may, I don't even know what way I have this anymore. I'm not worried. Ooh, I haven't been doing this on both sides like this, but it's a topsy-turvy world. You know why? Because when I have these drop sheets and they're all different directions, I usually like it. So I was like, yeah, I should start doing that on my, let's go ahead and maybe even do some on this sheet, because it's looking a little, it's only got paint on it, nothing else. Let's go ahead and, my new stamp, I haven't stamped with this one yet, so it might not stamp perfectly, because it hasn't gotten soaked in yet. Hasn't gotten its first, well yeah, it hasn't gotten its first layer. So do a couple, just random. I do like them straight up and down, side to side though. I don't usually go like that. Not that you can't, you totally can. Nothing wrong with it. Alright, starting with the first one again. I don't know, I don't hate it the way it is. That's actually going to be the inside, isn't it? Because there's going to be fabric on the outside. Oh, I have to think about the fabric that I'm using. I think it has, not these flowers. What's this flower? That's the other daisy. It has, well, these flowers. There's a little version of it. Because I think I'll use my you know, the fabric I decorated myself, I think. And I know I said I was going to add more layers on this, but I'm this one, I just kind of like it as it is. So it might just go ahead and I'll get the fabric and whatnot. And I missed one. Oh, so sad. Maybe that one will just get fabric on both sides. Let's see. I was talking about doing another layer, right? This is Payne's Gray, because I have Payne's Gray now. I want, ooh, that brush, oh, here, this will work. I just kind of want to dry brush here. Thicker in some places than others. That's alright. Alright, this one is a lot lighter, isn't it? I'm just gonna maybe come in from the outside with this and frame it out maybe. This not make it quite as messy as the other side. It's because of Jackie Bernardi that I got the golden Payne's Gray, and I love it. So I'm really glad I have it and got it. So thanks, Jackie. I gotta catch up on her videos again soon. Let's see. So now this side's really dark, so if I want to lighten it up, I need to make sure it dries or I'm going to end up with a lot of gray. So there's that. But I don't know if that will be the outside or which one will be the outside. I don't even know what color ink I have in my oh, you know what it's called. Oh, I want some quinacridone nickel azo. This one is maroon, permanent maroon. Maybe we'll just use a little bit of that instead. What will we do with it? I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with it. Maybe I will just kind of come in with, I had one yesterday. Oh, you know what? I'd rather do it on my gel plate. If I had one handy, I should have one handy. Here we do. I do. I have one handy. No, I'm going to do it this way. Alright, we're going to scoop that up and put it on there. And get some more of it as soon as I figure out where I put it. There we go. Take that paper off of there, would be good. So this is, it's a heavy body, but it's still a little on the translucent side. So I'm going to take the front of this. Let's see. It's not quite the halfway point, so I'll just get it down in there. Pressing hard. We'll see how it ends up. Not bad. And then take that off. Hope that it's still got some enough wetness on it to pick some of this out. So this is probably gonna have a flap over. So yeah, that's how that ended up. I'm not sure if it will go this way or this way. Yeah, it's probably going to go this way. And then this will flap over. Is most likely what's going to happen with that. see. This, I think I want to be a little bit more, but let's see. I've got the black and the teal and the gold, and the teal and the gold and the white. Should I just go teal again? Maybe teal or blue? Well, I've got the blue. So I'm just gonna kind of see where I don't have the stamping and go around the stamping as much as, I mean, I can go over the stamping too, because if you know me, I like to layer my patterns, so it's not that big a deal. And I'm just gonna kind of end where there's like a whatchamacallit, so that when I move this, I'm getting not any harsh lines. Like that. So I'm just kind of, see that one there, and that one there, and that one there, the round bits. And just following those round bits so that I don't get any harsh lines. Do something different on this side maybe? Like what? Like, where did my medallions go? AKA medallions, because that's not actually what it's called. It's called, I don't remember what they're called. That's why I always call them medallions. I don't know if Mariah has done the AKA in there for them or not. Let me get them. I used them yesterday. They were under my chair. Things fall under my chair and then I just don't see them anymore. They totally disappear. You can see I'm, you know, kind of going over it, but not over it. Like, I'm just getting it in places. I'm not getting it everywhere. I don't want a perfect, I don't want it covering the whole thing. I want it to look like, you know, it's peeking through. Like, maybe it's aged and whatnot. I am kind of lining up my circles a little bit so that they still stay lined up on the page, so it looks like I just had a bigger stencil than I really had. So there's that one. Ooh, what do we have? Should we use like a different green now? Got the peeled paint. Is that green? I do have green on it, yeah. Do I want to use permanent though? That's the question. Fern green? Do I have a darker green? I know I have a darker green. I have a library green. Library green. Library green. Let's do this one of Carrie, the crafter. Do some leafies. Let's do some up here. Do some down here. Maybe some over here. And then come over here and just, especially where there's some light spots, if I could kind of darken those up a little bit. Here we go. What about this side? Already has leaves, so I don't want to do leaves on this side. I don't think this side needs much more. I don't suppose I can get that through there. I think those holes are too small. Tiny, tiny little bits of holes. But that's not what I want. Oh, maybe this. A little bit more structured circular bits. So you could do this for journal covers, for pages in the journal. Just layer it up and have fun with it. That's my suggestion. And play with patterns. You learn by doing. So play with patterns, play with shapes, play with sizes. Because, you know, I got the big leaves and then I have these medium circles, and then I might even, and then we also have the wording in the background still showing through a little bit. And I could even add, actually, might add some of this in a in the teal. So I just kind of bring it on the edge and just press it down on the corners, basically. A little bit up there. And I might even go, you know, press it a little bit in the middle. Just pressing it a little bit to get a hint, you know, I don't want the whole rectangle. I just want bits of it here and there. And then that adds a geometric shape with all of the curvy shapes, which is a nice, you know, a nice, what is the word I want? Something different. Something. Juxtaposition. I know some people hate that word. Not me. I love that word. I mean, one thing I like to do sometimes too is I could just add some damask in here if I wanted to. But for right now, I'm kind of happy with, I think this is also one that's going to be folded in like this and have that, or I'll make it like fatter like this and I'll have just wider pages. I haven't totally decided yet. Alright, I'm going to finish layering these up and then I'm going to sew them and then I will show you what happened with them. Okay, so I decided I better show you what I did because I did, now this one I just covered, that was that blank one that I had. And this one's a little bit of a mess because I didn't glue anything down when I did it, so it ended up kind of a mess. But I have some of these papers that I got at a consignment shop to use in my gel plate printing, but I don't want to use the ones with the babies' faces on them. So I'm just kind of using them for filler, or the ones that have like a lot of black on them in the background. Those are not ones that, well, those aren't so bad. Of course, now there's like no ones with babies' faces. But so that's what I did in this one. Is I've got just the piece of paper bag here, and this one had a thicker fabric too, because this is the duck cloth, which is sort of like canvas. And I just kind of ripped them in half and have them on each side, so you get that crinkly sound. So I might do a little bit, but I didn't sew them down, which made it a little bit, but I didn't want to sew them down, but then also it ended up causing some issues. So I don't know. So I crumpled them up and then just kind of pour them and put some on each side. You know, kind of put them so that the white sides are facing out, basically. And then I sewed it and hope for the best. I left plenty of room on my, I like that one, for my fabric, so that I don't lose too much of the, left plenty of room on my fabric. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I'm trying to say anything besides that. So that I could cut off any excess and not have it come in too far. These are just a bunch of stuff. So I'm just kind of crinkling those up. Maybe I'll go across. I didn't go across on the other one. And just kind of using the paper as filler is what I'm doing. And then part of my problem was keeping my fabric lined up. So I may go ahead and just tuck that in and use some clips or paper clips or whatever just to hold my fabric down. So that's what I'll do this time. Just make sure I take them out as I'm sewing. I don't need it to be absolutely perfect. Because I do, you know, I want it to be crinkly inside, which is why I'm not, yeah, I've got quite a bit of excess. I might even, no, I still need it to come around the edge here. Alright. So if I can get this pinned on here nicely, I will cut this off at the end. I have more pins after I sew it. I'm not going to sew it on screen. Sewing on screen is kind of a pain. Because when I try to move the camera, things are going to make a mess. But I want to be able to, I don't mind if some of the papers are sticking out. They are on the other one, and it's fine. I'm just going to ink them up and grunge them up nicely. And I know it looks like I'm folding this over, but when I'm not going to fold it over, it's not going to be folded over once it's sewn. Does that make sense? I mean, I could. I just, that's not what I'm going for here. You just kind of stuff that in there. There we go. And hope for the best is what I'm doing. I'm just hoping for the best. And we'll see what it looks like after you want me to show you some. What show? All right. Hopefully it's not going to be super loud. It's going to be a pain. Just tell you that right now. So I'm starting from the back, and I'm just going to do a straight stitch on the back side, and then I'm going to do some stitching on the front after that. That way I can see my smallest piece, which is in the back, and it should show similarly on the front. And I'm pulling that fabric out because I cut it off afterwards. Whoops. Aren't anywhere in there. It looks closer than it is. No, I know I'm a little bit clumsy, so I can see why you would worry. And the last bit, like I said, I can always cut off that paper that's sticking out, or just run it part of it. And then I'm just gonna, let's see, one more. Come back around the top just a little bit so that it goes, you know, it's like back stitching it sort of in a kind of way, I think. So that's the inside. And I want my papers to stay on each side. So I'm also going to do like a stitch on either side of what I hope is the, I don't always get this perfectly straight. Because you know, it folded over the fabric at one end, and then I'm going to do it over here as well, because this is kind of like the spine area. I keep forgetting to do the back stitch on the other side. And then I'm just going to kind of go around here and there with the zigzag stitch. And so that one I do try to remember to do a little bit of back stitch. Just go down a little bit. And it just kind of gives it that messy stitch look without having to do it all the way around. And without having to switch back and forth. Whoops. Doing it the other way. So I'm going to do that in a few more places, and then I'll be back. So, oh, here we go. There. So that gives it an interesting feel. It's got all that extra paper in there. And, you know, paper I might not have used elsewhere. It's used somewhere now. And for this one, the bag with the two handles, I've sewn down the top and bottom so that I have the pockets. And so for the spine, I'm going to use a piece of fabric. And I will probably do a piece on the inside and the piece on the outside. And it's going to be like I don't think I'm going to put anything inside as far as, like, the fabric will be strong enough. So it's going to be a soft, whatchamacallit, spine, basically. And this, I have tried to remember to link the video where I made this fabric. And I'm going to glue it, and then I'll let it dry, and then I will sew it onto the bag. So that will shorten my pockets a little bit, but it'll be better. Don't worry, it'll be better that way. I'm going to leave enough room for, I don't know, probably going to leave a good 1/2 inch just so that I have the spine. I know you're probably thinking I should put something in there, but I think I'm going to be okay. Because I'm probably also, I just need it to be able to bend easily and bend around whatever I put in here. So I think I'm going to be okay. Where is my Fabri-Tac? Just want to know, okay, that could be the front. That could be the back. Alright, I'm going to flip these like this and put my glue on them. Oh my goodness. And then I'm going to cut some of these strings off because they're driving me crazy. Oh, it was you, but they're driving me crazy. And get the cover off the glue would be good. These bottles I thought were going to be great, but they are not airtight, I will have to say, because they're just not. They are not airtight. Because I have the gesso, when I had gesso in, had like a big clump of dried gesso. Alright, I want to spread this out because my fabric is fairly thin. So I don't want to have like the lines from the glue. And I gave myself plenty to work with here. Ooh, that's cold. I had these upside down, right? I'm giving myself a good 1/2 inch in the middle there. That's about how big my, and if I were smart, I would have my lines up here so I can make sure it's lined up really well. But I think I have some of the forgiveness happening here. And just put the other, and this is just muslin, is what I used. Oops, for the fabric that I stamped and painted and whatnot. Oh my goodness, there's some dried glue on there. That's not helping. And then I'm also going to sew these, and that way they will be securely on there. But I do need to let that dry first. And I need to go eat lunch anyway. So that's where we are now. I've got that cover, and I will probably trim off the top and the bottom. So that's what this cover will look like. And this cover, is that the way I want it? I don't know. That's how it is right now. And this cover. And this one, which I might just keep it a little wider like this instead of folding it over. But I think I had one that I was planning to fold over. And that dark one. And this is one that I was planning to do like a fold over. Like that. And we have this one, which has the paper on the inside and that on the outside. And I may or may not just rip that off, the extra paper that's hanging off there. Because I didn't glue it down, but I didn't want to glue it down because if I glued it down, it wouldn't be crunchy like that. And is that everything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, yeah, 7. I think that's how many I had before. Okay. Oh, 8. 8. There's 8. This one's a little bit grungy, messed up. It's alright. It's just extra grungy. So 8 covers, and I will be playing with these and filling them up in the next week or so. And I think these are going to be like naked journals. They're going to be unembellished journals, and I'm going to have them put up in my shop so that people can decorate them themselves. So I hope you have a delightful day. Love you.